I wanted to talk a little bit more about the intermediate value theorem in this video, which is a pretty easy theorem to think about and to reason with. But the AP exam has really kind of stepped up what their expectation is if you're going to use that theorem. So I know I showed this in a previous video. This idea that, if we have a function that was, at one value, then it's at another value, as long as it's continuous, it will hit every value between. So kind of the thing you need to stay here, and it is all right here, is that if a function is continuous on an interval, and there's a y value that's between f of a and f of b, so the y value is associated with my endpoints, then there is a value somewhere in the middle of that interval such that f of c is equal to w. Okay, so let me kind of explain a way that we might reason with that. So here's an example of how you might use the intermediate value theorem on the AP exam. You can see I've given a function and a graph, and I've purposely kind of put a box over part of the graph, but because I want us to reason without needing to see the whole graph. You might be asked, is there a c? And that's usually the letter that's used. Is there a c, a value c, between 0 and 2 such that f of c is equal to -3? Something like that. And what intermediate value theorem really states very explicitly, at the heart of it is, okay, if these are my endpoints, and I'm looking for a value between, I need to say, all right, I'm going to plug in 0 to this. And f of 0 is, of course, -4. And if I plug in the other endpoint in this, 2, I get 8 minus 4 plus 4 minus 4. So, 8 minus 4 is 4, but it all comes out to be 4. I'm going to write that over here. F of 2 equals 4. Well, the value that I'm interested in is in between those. -3 is between those two y values. And since f is continuous, I'm going to just abbreviate here, there must be a value c such that, I'm going to say that c can be anywhere between 0 and 2, f of c is equal to -3. Okay, so this is kind of the overall way you would justify. And again, what we did here, and this is something that when the AP exam is scored, these are the things they look for. Did you plug in those two endpoints to see what they are? And you have to somewhere say it. You can't just say f of 0 and f of 2. They need evidence. Did the student plug it in? And then you say, okay, I did it, and the y value I'm interested in is between those two. Then you need to say something about the function being continuous, which of course it's a polynomial. It's definitely continuous. Then you say, okay, then I know, based on the fact that it is continuous, that there exists some value between 0 and 2 where I could plug it into the function and get that -3, because that's between -4 and +4. Okay, so where people got dinged on this on the AP exam when I was scoring an intermediate value theorem question was really not doing the inequalities, forgetting to say that value of interest was between the endpoints y values. And then again, this inequality saying, okay, so that way I know that there exists that value between, in this case, 0 and 2.